Hi, I'm Construction Gamer and this is the UK Northern Powerhouse on Transport Fever 2. This is going to be episode number 19 in the series, and in this episode we're going to be building the lines around the Manchester Huddersfield sort of Wakefield corridor, I guess you'd call it, but it just, to me at the minute, and looking at my diagram that I've drawn, it just looks like a spaghetti of lines, but hopefully we can bring them all together to make some sort of sense, and we can start to get in some of the services that I've wanted to get in place, like the Liverpool, what would be the Liverpool to Edinburgh service. Obviously on this it would only go as far north as Darlington, but in order to do that I've got to get Huddersfield and Manchester connected up, and a few of the other places. We're currently looking at the East Coast Main Line junction just west of Selby that we built in the last episode, and that's East Coast Main Line service, just goes up and down. It's not a proper service yet, it's just how many people you got on board. I need the UI to see that. 106, that's not too bad. Since I did the remodelling of the track, the East Coast Main Line service isn't actually making a huge amount of money, not as much as it was. Let's take a look. Oh, it's back up again, back up to 7 million, so it's settled down after I messed around with the tracks. I've put in place the Northern Rail Chester's Leeds service. I know it's not in place in 1965, it only started last year I think, but I'm getting all the real life services as of today in place. Like I said before, I'm not going for historic services, I just want to get them in, so as and when I can put services in I will. It's not doing too badly, I think mostly because of the leg between Bradford and Manchester. There's always loads of people want to go north towards Rochdale, and I've put on, I think, well, there's five trains on this 8-minute frequency. I could probably maybe get away with another one, but the Chester to Manchester leg isn't that profitable. It is non-stop pretty much. Well, it is non-stop from Chester to Warrington Bank Quay, then Manchester Victoria, Rochdale, Halifax, Bradford, and then Leeds, and that's how that service operates. So it's not doing too badly, considering the Chester to Manchester bit isn't doing that well. It has obviously taken some passengers off the Chester to Manchester service, but that stops at Runcorn East and goes to Manchester Piccadilly. I've named that the TFW Chester to Manchester Piccadilly again. It's not it's 1965, way ahead of time, but I'm getting all the real services in. I'm thinking I might build Helsby Junction or Helsby Station, but I don't know yet, because there's really nothing here, but we can get services from Ellesmere Port down. I think there is a northern service that calls Ellesmere Port and Warrington Bank Quay, but don't know yet, because at the minute the Transfer Wales rail service just calls Runcorn East, Warrington Bank Quay, and then Manchester Piccadilly. Eventually it might go into Manchester Airport, and obviously it has to go off towards Shotton and Flint as well at some point in the future. So I've got that kind of set up, and I'm starting now to map out the routes as they are on the timetable, as much as I can anyway. I've still got a fair bit of research to do, so yeah, that's the lie of the land at the minute. The money's gone down a bit. We did have 300 million, but after we rebuilt the East Coast Main Line, the money has gone down a little bit. I'm not 100% happy with York. It's not great, but I think it's about as best I can do with the limitations. I could have maybe slew the East Coast Main Line west a bit and then brought it in on a bit more of a curve, possibly, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now. So that is that. What I want to do in this is, also off camera I rejigged Wakefield as well, so that's a bit more realistic, and that I suppose can form the first part of what we are actually going to do. I'm going to use standard tracks, I think, for now, just because Yeah, we can keep the game going. Just because I want to keep the cost down, I'm assuming that high-speed tracks cost more to maintain. Now, with that in mind, I think I might just downgrade some of the tracks, like those chords. I'm just going, it's just a hunch, I'm not entirely sure if high-speed tracks cost more to maintain than low-speed ones, but we will downgrade the chords anyway, just because if it does, then it's saving us some money. And I suppose the track actually between Leeds and Selby is never really it's never going to be a high-speed service, so I think we will downgrade that as well, and I will leave that as it is. This little bit, this is the Leeds branch, I will leave that as is, I think. And this Wakefield, which one's this? I still get them mixed up. So that's Kirkgate and that is Westgate, which is in the west. Transfer, Westgate. Come on, West Gate. Yeah, that's right. Okie dokie. Right, so this now we are using. No, I don't know. I very much doubt if this section of track is actually electrified. I could be wrong, but I doubt it is. Don't know what that is. Get rid of that. So yeah, I think we will have it slow speed, no electrification. And we're looking at Huddersfield. Now let's have a look at this. This could be interesting. Possibly going to have to demolish quite a lot. Actually, we might actually go through the centre of Huddersfield. Where is... So it goes to Huddersfield. There is a line. Oh, it's so confusing. Right, so that's 1 to Kirkgate. This comes down in a weird S. Right, we'll get Huddersfield Junction in, which is going to be about here. We will keep it. Oh no, we won't keep it flat. Why is it up in the air? Can we? No, can't have it flat. Right, so Huddersfield going to be coming from here. I think I'm going to have the station in the middle. I know I'm going to have to do a lot of demolition for that, but I think I'm going to have to bring the track down as well. So bring that down a little bit. Delete that. Do it again. Keep it on the flat. Like that. Is that my only diagram? It must be, I think. So we sort of want to be pointing in that sort of direction. Head off like that. Why is that doing that? That's alright. And then we need a bit of track. This comes, Wakefield comes in, so we're going to have to change the direction of that. I'm going to have to change the direction of Huddersfield as well. It's going, yeah, this is the only problem when you're trying to be accurate, is it can be quite tricky. So we'll have it pointing in a bit more of a northeasterly direction like that, and then we'll continue it up for a little bit. Says, yeah, I am taking my time with this and hesitating a lot because this kind of needs to be right from the get-go, because this kind of sets the direction then of all of the other tracks that we're working with. So I just want to make sure I get this junction correct from the outset, and it just makes everything so much easier. I suppose we can come downhill here to about there, and this, it looks relatively flat, but it's probably not. And we want a decent speed on the junction. Whereas, yeah, 40, we're calling 40 a decent speed. Keep that on the, I mean, that doesn't necessarily need to be flat, but I just want that to be flat. That goes off towards Brighouse, but we haven't got Brighouse on this map. We won't have any viaducts for the time being. Not sure if Brighouse is on the Steam version that's uploaded for you to use. Might possibly be, but I'm not sure. Right, get that into there. 40, 36, we'll have to do. Let's take a look at these junctions, make sure they're nice and flat. Well, not necessarily flat, but just there's no ballast glitching over the top. No, we won't do any terrain. We'll work towards getting this track in place. So we come from Wakefield Kirkgate over here. Push this back, and then needs to curve that way, but we want a decent speed on it, like that. And then where's that junction that we just built? It's over there. So we can go straight. What's that looking like? That's alright, but I just don't want the viaduct. Oh, good. Builders have started cutting things. That's good. I'm not sure, you probably can hear that because the blue snowball picks up everything. Oh dear. Yeah, I've got a bit. Oh. Towards the back of the property, there is some building work going on, unfortunately, and I leave the door open for the dog so he can just go wander in and out. So you might just hear a bit of work noise going on. Right, so this bit here goes towards Barnsley, which is over there. So we want a spur going off. We want it a bit faster than that. I think I can live with 40 for regional services. It's not the end of the world, I don't think. So Barnsley is over there. That's going off towards Barnsley. That looks like it might be about right. And then just after that we do have another junction. Now the thing with building all of these different junctions and things is I'm not sure if we're going to actually use them all. But we might do. Right, so that does that. So yeah, we do actually need this junction. It would be nice if this was a little bit faster actually, but we will try and curve it up. So I'm guessing this is how the service is. So we were starting to speed up. Yeah, that's about right. Let's see what we can do. If we just join it up straight away like that. That's not too bad. No, we don't want to tunnel all the way. Like that. So we'll have services coming in from this line here, I guess. Into Huddersfield, out the back, and then that's how they get into Leeds. So it's all starting to come together, so that's essential. That goes off to Brighouse and Halifax. Oh, it goes to that branch there. Okay, it's all starting to come together. So I'm not sure what service would use that particular line actually, but I'll put in the stub of the track for now. 50 be better. So I'll put a stub of the track in for now because we might need that track. It would be nice to have it linked up anyway, but I'm just aware that I'm building loads of infrastructure and obviously we're having to pay for the upkeep and we're not running many services on it. Right, so that is that. The next fun bit is going to be getting down to Manchester. So it comes out the back, we've got a junction off to Manchester and a junction off to Penistone, so we're getting there. I think we're going to have to do a lot of demolition. We're going to pause the game, demolish half of Huddersfield. Ooh. Yeah, well, have I just... Oh dear. Have I just deleted Huddersfield? That could be interesting. There appears to be a problem. Yeah, there definitely is. I think I've just deleted a town. Right, never mind. Buildings. Blue. 162 platforms. Two platforms. Press N this time instead of B and get that joined onto there. Right, let's get this track in. We go off there somewhere, get out of the way. Like so, and then we will rebuild Huddersfield before we go any further, I think. And we will just hope that we haven't broke the town because the name's gone. Does that need to be that tall? I don't think it does. Oh. Right, no. Okay, we'll do that then. Doesn't look level to me. Bring that out to there. Like that, and then bring this up. Why is that ugly? Doesn't have to be ugly. No, that wants to be road. Right, get this built. Yeah, we don't need a right, get that in there. See what this does. That's a little bit better. Curve into there like that, and then no, it doesn't need to go uphill, does it? It does do some mad things with the road, even with the new straight road tool that we've got. Sometimes it does. You do wonder why it does what it does, but never mind. Get that in there. Get that hooked up to there. Straight road, straight across there. We will try and encourage some development on all of this stuff that we've just demolished, like that. We can get a bridge over here quite easily because we've already got a nice cutting. Across there, that into there, and get this hooked up to there. Right, we're getting there. Still not out of the woods yet. What does that look like? Oh no, that's hideous. Not allowing that. Right. Yeah, I don't really want to spend all my time rebuilding a town if I'm honest, but I have just demolished a town. Right, get that gone, get it all smoothed. Huddersfield, oh you've come back, good. Right, so we haven't completely broken a town, hopefully. But what we do need to do is configure this station. MISC steps there and there. Fences, let's get a fence like that, and then just want a little bit of a road. We'll just have the little one like that, and then too much slope like that. Maybe not like that then. Oh, that's pretty ugly as well. Never mind. Right, let's just get the road built. Just want access on this side of the station as well. No, that's not going to be able to get up there very easily. Right, so buildings, bus depot. So the bus is going to come down here. I think I will stop it there, possibly, and then I'll have a stop over here, like that. And then if I have two stops here, I mean it is a bit of a walk, but that shouldn't be the end of the world walking down there. Just why is that curve so ugly? Streets. Right, so that's lined up like that. Like that. Right, so the routes, it is a bus route. What have we broken? We just want the ones I can see, and it's not there anymore because it's broken. What will it be? No, it's not a shuttle, it's going to be a hull, no. Bus, the Stratford, Is it here? No. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Right, maybe the vehicles that we can see. No, what are you? Right. Bradford, Huddersfield. Manage vehicle. Manage line. No. Right, okay, we'll have to put it back in. New line from there to there, and then back again, like so. No. Right, 2 terminals, 2 wants to be on 2. It's better. Like so, and then if we get all these vehicles, manage vehicles, line 1, yeah, manage the line, and then what was that, Bradford, Huddersfield, sorted. Unpause the game and yeah, just let them get on with whatever they're doing. Right, I didn't really study the approach into Manchester particularly well, but I think this is going to be fun. Right, so we've got Glossop there. Huddersfield's there, so we're going to snake our way down, I guess, somehow from Huddersfield. Right, I think I'm right in saying that the Liverpool to Newcastle service, look at that, we're in a huge tunnel already. 60. The Liverpool Edinburgh service, which used to be the Liverpool Newcastle service, goes through Victoria. So here we will put in the connection with Victoria for now, and then I will study in more detail how we get from Huddersfield to Piccadilly as well, just if there's any. There are services I think that go from Piccadilly up in the sort of Huddersfield direction. Right, so what colour do we want? Something like that. And we are going to have. No, that's hideous. That I don't like that. Do that again. What sort of speed? Pillar collision. Of course there is. Right. Swing you over there. Going up as much hill, and we'll just have a dark stone. Not entirely happy with that span. That's a bit too. What's up? Collision. No, there isn't. Construction not possible. Right, hopefully it'll let us do that, which it is good. Yeah, I think they're possibly a bit too close together, but I just want to get Huddersfield linked up. So we will do. What's that? We'll do. Oh, that's all right. No. We'll do a couple of little tunnels. That's not massively long for a tunnel, I don't think. We will live with that. And then that comes out onto a massive viaduct, which is not allowed. And we've got an autosave. Right, so we will have to. What we're going to have to do? Go downhill. Is that going to let me? Yeah. Right. In a cutting. Where's Huddersfield? There. And then. Follow that lay of the land. That's not bad actually. I might upgrade this to high speed track at some point. I don't think this is going to be interesting. Let's just, as the crow flies. Actually, can we just, where am I going? If I just throw that at Halifax, or Huddersfield even, and then we just see what sort of hideousness we are going to get. Yeah, we're going to get stuff like that, which isn't good. So we're going to have to do it bit by bit, just so we don't get any completely wacky bridges and things like that. I mean, I don't mind having a few like that. It's not too bad. It adds a little bit of interest to the route, I guess, but I don't want any massive ones. Actually, it's not looking all that bad actually. What was I saying before I digressed? I think I was saying I might upgrade this to high-speed track at some stage, because I will be operating the new. Let's just try and get that over there. See, now that is just ridiculous. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be operating actually, because hopefully by the time I get to the 2000s, or to the future, hopefully maybe the Mark V carriages will be out to go with the Class 68, but then again I'm not sure if the Liverpool to Edinburgh, I think they actually use 800s, Class 800s, so they're capable of 125 miles per hour, but I'm not entirely sure if no, we will actually. Saying that, even if the route in real life isn't capable of achieving 125 miles per hour, we will try and maximise the speed where we can, and I don't like that particularly. We will just go for the maximum speeds, even if it's not realistic. So if eventually trains can do 125 miles an hour between Manchester and Huddersfield, then we will just go with it. So I'll be using IEP Class 800s on the route. And then I think, yeah, because I'm pretty sure Class 800s go between Liverpool and Edinburgh now, and the Class 68s, the local hauled services, I think they go to Scarborough, possibly. So hopefully we'll have something that resembles that with the Mark V carriages by the time we get to the 2000s in this game anyway. And that's quite large, but I think I'm going to live with it. We don't want to be doing too much smoothing either, do we? What's up? Yeah, you don't exist anymore. Man's line. Go away. You don't exist. And what's up with you? Right, manage line. So we've got get rid of all that. Start from scratch. So add station. Ooh. Now, I suppose it can come in round the back, and it's going to make me do it manually. Right, so terminals number 3 wants to be on 1. It's better, and 5 on 2. There we are. That's all linked up but better. And oh yeah, that branch. Let's have a look. We can unpause the game. We have unpaused the game already. Let's just see if we can get this track in, because we are on a bit of a slope. And then that's off to there. Ooh. Is that alright? Yes it is. That's fine. Good, good, good. Signalling one way, yes. So we'll have one there, one. I've built the wrong thing, and then one there. Yeah, I don't know what that is. To be honest, get rid of that. Yeah, because it's that little bit of track, isn't it, that goes into that one, which we won't bother with, I don't think, just yet. But let's just take a quick gander at this route. Don't think it looks too bad. We've got some interesting structures. I'm not happy with that. That's span. But we will leave. Actually, we will do it again. I'm definitely not happy with it. Right, so country road, do a little bit of a curve underneath, track, curve that into there, that's a bit better. And then we'll have to push this back. Connect this all back up like that, and that's a little bit better. Yeah, so there's nothing completely over the top apart from this needs to be pushed back. Don't want to be too much smoothing though. He says that's alright, that's alright. Actually, it's not too bad actually. It looks quite interesting, looks quite picturesque. So we can get the Liverpool-Newcastle service in, which will replace the shuttle, will it? Possibly, not sure. Don't think it stops at St Helens Junction, so I don't want to be replicating or duplicating rather too many services at this stage in the game, just because we do need to keep an eye on the finances still. But yeah, at least we can start to think about getting some services in now. It's all starting to look a little bit better. This sort of weird track thing's come back on itself, links up with this, does it? Yeah, it links up with that, and then comes right back round to Kirkgate again in a big loop. But again, it's a piece of track. I'm like, what sort of services are going to be operating on that? But I'm sure I'll find out at some stage. We've got the main railway in, which I wanted, which is this section here, so we can start to think about the Liverpool to Newcastle, which is the main one I wanted to get in really, because I think it's the first. Ooh, that's not nice. It'll be the first sort of proper Transpennine service that we've got in, apart from the Chester to Leeds service. Yeah, do a little bit of smoothing, try and encourage them to redevelop Huddersfield, and hopefully it will improve once we start getting that in. So actually what I want to do is Manchester. I've got a pen, did have a pen. So currently we have 4,276 destinations, 130% uplift. I want to see what happens once we get that Transpennine Express service in to Huddersfield and to Leeds, and then up the East Coast Main Line. Because what it will mean, before I wrap the video up, is we do actually have finally some East Coast Main Line services linked up. Because at the minute the East Coast Main Line is kind of operating quite solely. I know it's got the junctions in place, but we don't have anything running from Leeds up this way. So the East Coast Main Line kind of bypasses Selby, bypasses Leeds. So it'll be interesting to see if connecting up York with Leeds, Huddersfield and Manchester, see if it has a dramatic effect on the amount of destinations. I would assume it does, because it really does open up the network and open up the number of destinations, but we shall see. That will be in the next episode. We can take a look at what that's done basically. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today, as Rochdale is now full, and I'm going to say until next time, bye bye.